Welcome back to Rounding the Bases, extra innings. 4 final questions as we round the bases with Mary Redmond. Okay, I said on the audio side, and I encourage everybody to go listen to the podcast, that you are I think I said something about a woman of many hats, literally and figuratively. That is truly.
I should have brought one. Where did I put it?
I know. I thought it was attached to you all the time. That's okay. If anybody were to,
I have a wonderful Western hat I had hanging on the door.
But I think of you in the beret.
Yeah.
In the typical red hat for you. Where did the hat thing, I'll call it, where did the hat, I don't know if obsession is the right word, or maybe just the love of hats.
Pretty much.
Okay. Where did the hat thing come from?
My mother, back in the day, and proper ladies had hats that they wore and gloves and shoes that matched. And one of my best stories is my uncle was a physician and my dad was a lawyer. And in those days, they didn't all get paid in cash. And one time, my uncle, the doctor, got paid in pheasants. And my aunt picked all the pheasant feathers out. And she called my mom and said, "We're making pheasant hats." And they were pillboxes, little tiny pillbox hats. And my mother and my aunt took all those little pheasant feathers and made beautiful little hats. I have my aunt's. I don't have my mother's, but that was the first hat in the collection. At the biggest, the collection was over 150 hats. And that's split between summer hats and winter hats. And I rotate the fleet. I'm very slow this year. I have not gotten all the summer out. It takes a lot of time to pack all of the winter hats away and bring out the summer hats. And I'm cutting back the fleet. It's a little difficult. So I probably have disposed of at least 30 hats.
Okay.
And I don't count baseball caps as hats.
Yeah, no, not the way I know. I know what you're. I know your
hat is a hat.
All right, another interesting one is, I assume it's a love of barbecue. I love barbecue, but it's not. Maybe I've been asked to judge something here and there, but you are a barbecue judge. How did that come about?
I am a professional barbecue judge.
Okay.
By the time everybody sees this, I am going this weekend to judge an event that will be my 30th.
Wow.
And at your 30th event, you earn the title Master Barbecue Judge, which will allow me to then get into even more exclusive judging opportunities. I have judged, as you know, 29 now. I went to barbecue school to learn how to be a barbecue judge 4 or 5 years ago. And there's a course that you take to learn how to properly judge. And you're judging by appearance, by taste, by texture. So you're not judging the sauce. You're judging the meat and how it is prepared. Does it look good? And there are very strict requirements for every competitive barbecue team of how the meat is presented. And then for us, how do we taste it? You must take at least 2 bites. You can't just judge on 1 bite. And at my first competition, and my job, taste, but I get to take home the rest of the barbecue. And I'd call that my pay, is I get to take home world-class barbecue, what I didn't eat. So if I have a chicken thigh, there's 2 bites out of it and the rest of it I bring home. So Dwayne, my husband, I brought the first stuff home and he said, "But there's a bite out of it." I said, "Then that means I was doing my job. I can't bring you barbecue that doesn't have 2 bites taken out of it."
Yeah.
So I did not judge at all the last 2 years during COVID.
So it's good to be back.
Yeah, it'll be great to be back.
Yeah. Third question as we round the bases among the fearless aspect of this. And I've heard this from a lot of people. Actually, I've got a really good friend. He's been on this podcast. He's got a video production editing company, used to work for Oprah, and he absolutely loves the classes. I don't know that I'm saying it right, that he takes at Second City, and he's totally into improv now. You've done the improv thing. How did
For about
that
5 years, I was an
Yeah,
improv performer.
yeah, yeah. How did that come about?
Again, I saw people do it. I thought this looks like fun. I had a little time, and there was an improv class going on and an improv theater out where I live in Bonner Springs. At the time, I joined up. There were about 10 of us, and we became a troupe, different numbers of us, and we performed a show every weekend, 2, 3 shows. And you have to practice to do improv. It isn't just like you stand on a stage and it works. It's also not stand up. Stand up is an entirely different art.
Right, right.
Improv, 2 people minimum, and they create a scene on the spot. And because I've done improv, it taught me better to be a better communicator, to observe body language, to listen to my scene partner. If I am not a good listener, I miss every opportunity to grow the scene. And it means you don't, and here's another lesson, which is you never say no. It's yes and in every scene. And so if your partner says, "Hey, Bill," to me, "Hey, Bill, I love your new truck," then by golly, I am Bill and I got a new truck and I better play as Bill. My body language changes, the way I talk changes, and I go with the scene. And so it's been a natural to use the improv to be a better negotiator and a better speaker.
All right, here's the walk-off question for me, because it's the first thing I always think about with you beyond the personal friendship is, oh my goodness, this woman jumps out of planes. And I know a lot of people do that, or you have, or what. There's no way. Look, let me tell you how this negotiation would go, Mary. My internal negotiation. You want to do this? Are you crazy? No chance. Done. There's
Looks like a good plane to me. Why would I jump out of it?
Right.
I started it when I was 25, and I had hung with a bunch of guys and a couple of girls, and they said, "Oh, this will be fun. Let's go skydive." And I said, "Well, sure. I am woman, hear me roar." And I went off with them to the jump school, and we took the jump class. And at the end of the day, you have to do your jump. And by the end of the day, it was becoming very real. So when the rain started and they called off the jump, I'm going, wow. That happened 3 more times. Rain, rain, rain. I said, sign from above. God doesn't want me to jump. But when you get some idea about something when you're young, it never left me. And it kept. And so at age something older than 50, actually, I think it was right around my 60th birthday.
Wow.
I said, well, it's about time. You put it off for all those years. And I got a girlfriend. You have to have a partner. You have to have another crazy person. And ignore all the contracts. In my regular life, I don't ignore contracts. It was like 17 pages. And all it meant was, you die, it's not our fault.
We're not liable.
Yeah. We're not liable. And so there were tears. There were hyperventilating going on. There was, what am I thinking? I'm crazy. But my partner said, no, we've agreed. And how could I let her down? She was raring to go. So I passed out, basically, at the count of 3. It was 1 and 2. And at 3, I guess we left the plane. I don't know. I had video of it.
I guess you came back at some point.
And eventually I came to the ground, and I didn't throw up, although I thought I would. Wow. What a great experience to walk through fear like that. And so I usually say, if you've got a fear, the best thing to do is face it and walk through it.
Could you get on a plane right now and jump without fear?
No, no, I would go through the fear sequence again. But it'd be less fear because I have experience and know that you get up and you still come down. And And as I say, if it doesn't work out and you die, you're not going to really be around to deal with it very much. It's somebody else's problem at that point.
Yeah.
But I do want to do it one more time. I really do. I'm not sure when that date is, but
I don't know. I know who won't be your partner.
I promise, as a friend, I would not ask you to do that because it's not something you want to do. And don't do something you really don't want to do. Life is way short. Do the stuff you love to do.
I like it. All right. It's great stuff. Always fun to talk, and a nice little insight into the many interests and talents of Mary Redmond. Hope if you're watching this that you'll go over and listen to the audio interview, The Art of Negotiation, The Fearless Negotiator, Body Language, and all of that covered wherever you listen to your podcast. Mary, thanks again for rounding the bases.
Joel, it was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.